Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? Yes, I'm finally back with a brand new shelf for my hip hop CD shelf by shelf collection overview. I think this is going to be part 13 and the second part in the D's, if I am remembering correctly. It has been a minute, I know. Christmas happened. Busy, probably the busiest time of the year for me, besides the summer, obviously. But yeah, Christmas is a gong show, and now that I've got through my top 22 of 22 and the yearly updates and stuff, I can get back on the shelves, so expect more of these in the weeks to come. And yeah, so without further ado, part 2 of the D's, and I think we left off with the Della stuff, so we're going to get into one of my favorite groups of all time, which is De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising, 1989. This is the 2001 reissue, actually. I never actually owned the CD until 2001. I had originally bought the tape back in the day, and I never upgraded until the reissue came out. It was crazy. This is a cool edition, though, because it has a bonus second disc that has a bunch of cuts from the album that didn't make it, skits, a couple alternate songs, and a bunch of like different 12-inch versions and stuff. It's kind of cool, actually. It's like a 14-track. It's like, you know, like a full-length kind of thing, so... 3 Feet High and Rising. Classic album, man. Classic album. So many good songs. I mean, the samples flipped on here, which obviously got De La Soul in a lot of trouble back in the day because they got sued, and then we all know the history of that shit and stuff. And I think it was the Turtles. The motherfucking Turtles, you know. But classic album, man. I did a video way back in the day of like my top, or sophomore albums I actually like better than the originals. I go back and forth with De La Soul a lot with De La Soul is Dead and this album. I just love the way De La Soul plays, or De La Soul is Dead plays out. I guess a radio show kind of thing, but this is classic. So much good material in here. Yeah. What's your guys' favorite song off this album? I don't even know what mine honestly is. I'm a big fan. I know it's so cliched, but I love Plug Tuning, man. So dope. Me, Myself, and I is another one I really love, but great album. Classic material from De La Soul. And yeah, so I guess De La Soul finally won the rights back to their stuff, so their music is coming to streaming for all those people that stream and don't listen to physicals and stuff, which is going to be showing up. And hopefully actually Tommy Boy's been reissuing a lot of their back catalog on vinyl, but it's so expensive. It's just ridiculous. De La Soul is Dead. I absolutely love this record. It basically plays out like kind of like a radio show, full of skits, kind of like the first album. Lots of skits, lots of playful action and stuff. A lot of tracks overall, 27. Just a lot of effort, man. Back in the day when people used to make these kind of concept records, and I mean concept records are still made, just not full of skits like this and stuff. But yeah, classic stuff right here. Love this record. What's y'all favorite song on this one too? Again, you know, I don't even know. My brother's bass, it's awesome. All right, getting into the last record that Prince Paul produced on, which is Balloon Mind State, which is just a fantastic album. Genetically kind of made up as the same way as the other two, just not as many skits. Not as you know, it had a little bit of a different vibe on this one. But overall, this is just such an underrated record, in my opinion. The first couple De La Soul albums seem to get a lot of love. I mean, this one gets love, but I think it's incredible. It's really, really good. But yeah, so the last album that Prince Paul did, really good stuff. Balloon Mind State. And then, so Prince Paul's gone, and De La Soul kind of like, in a sense, reinvented themselves. They got a little bit more serious. They produced this album entirely themselves. And it turned out fantastic. I remember when this album first came out, a lot of people weren't really feeling it. I was like the polar opposite, though. I loved it. Like right from the first song, Super MCs, I was in love with this record. The Business with Common was dope. We got a very young or early Mos Def verse on here. But like Stakes is High was so fucking amazing to me. Like this whole record is just so dope, man. Like there's no bad songs on this entire thing. De La Soul really knocked out the production on this and made kind of a grown-up album for 1995. Was it 95 or 96? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, 96, I think, yeah. So, amazing record. It was just such an interesting record to hear from their kind of more playful stuff from before. But And then we jump into, what, 99, I think? 99 or 2000 is when this came out. A few years later. So this says 2000 on the back. So about 4 years later, we get AOI, Intelligent Moesic Thump. And this album right here, of course, it had a mixed bag of producers on it and stuff. Production all over the place. Not as cohesive. It's a lot more polished sounding. Definitely has that kind of more mainstream appeal to it and things like that. But overall, still really good. Not as good as their previous stuff, but, you know, there's a lot of solid stuff here. A lot of features on here. We got Mike Dean Adrock from the Beastie Boys on here. Freddie Fox appeared on the record. We got the Licks, Exhibit. It's crazy, man. D.V. Elias Christ, Busta Rhymes. So, different approach to the record. Production all over the place. Interesting. And then we've got kind of the sequel to it, Bionics, which featured the fucking song Baby Fat. Oh my God. And I'm like the hugest Devin the Dude fan, but if I never have to hear Baby Fat again in my life, I'll be happy with that. And the reason for that, I loved the song when it came out, but I was living in Vancouver at the time, going to music school, and I had BET, and I used to watch like Rap City, like all the shows on there. All they ever played was Baby Fat. It was ridiculous. They had this, there was like 10 songs they had on like, you know, on a fucking rotation. Baby Fat was one of them. So kind of got itself a little bit played out, but cool features on this one. Be Real, Slick Rick. Definitely, I think overall I actually probably like this one more than the other one besides Baby Fat. Like, you know, everyone kind of has that song that they just never want to go back to or never want to hear again. I hear people say, you know, with like OPP or something like that, or fucking, you know, Young MC Bust a Move and shit. It makes sense. Funky Cold Medina, you know, all those songs that you just don't want to hear. Baby Fat's like that song for me, man. It's just, I'll never forget it, man. It seemed like every time I came home, every time I left the house, it was playing. It's crazy. But yeah. So we got De La Soul, Timeless, the singles collection, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a bunch of singles that they had released. Super MCs, Stakes is High, to Business. And then we got Baby Fat on there. Of course we do. So this was released just after that album in 2001. Released by Tommy Boy, of course. And then we've got De La Soul, The Best Of, which I believe was released around the same, a couple years after, actually, by Tommy Boy, I believe also. Or no, is it Rhino? No, it is Tommy Boy. Yeah, okay. So, Best Of, got a bonus disc on here. I think I grabbed this for the bonus disc. I came across this for super cheap, and I was like, fuck, whatever. I usually don't buy a lot of these Best Of, but unless they have unique material to them, I'll pick them up. But I think this was kind of worth grabbing, you know, if you just want to pop in something. But yeah, it's got some bonus disc action on there. Best De La Soul from 2003. Then we got this was cool, man. De La Soul, De La Mixtape, remixes, rarities, and classics. There's some cool stuff on here. Remixes. I know the Stakes is High remix is on here, which is really dope. Got some unreleased stuff. Fucking awesome. This was really cool. So, yeah. Love the artwork on that. Then 2004 came, and De La Soul put out the Grind Date. Again, mixed bag of producers on here, features and stuff, but this album is fucking amazing. Like 2000, they knocked this shit out the park, man. A lot shorter for them, track-wise, but really, really damn cool, man. Rock Cocaine Flow is just like, come on, man. MF Doom. Got Butterverses on here. Got a track with Flavor Flav, Common, Ghostface, man. Yeah, the production's amazing on this. It's so cohesive. It just sounds so dope. And they kind of went the opposite way with this record. It didn't sound like the AOI records. It wasn't as, you know, kind of mainstream sounding. It sounded a little bit more underground. They used more underground productions. I think Dilla and Madlib are on here too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so really, really great album. Highly recommend that. It's great. And then there's this like weird release, The Impossible Mission. I always thought this was a fucking bootleg, but I always see this thing listed as an official, not album, but it's more of like a mixtape TV series. It's like outtakes and like unreleased tracks and stuff like that. It plays out kind of weird. It's not overly that great. I think some of the tracks were left over for a reason, but it's still worth having if you're a De La Soul fan. This is the De La Soul Are You In, like the free download for the Nike thing that they did. I think A$AP Rock did one also. Pretty cool, actually. Then we got First Serve, which was Kind of a concept record done by Plug One and Plug Two, Poss and Dave. I think Maceo was sick at the time. I believe he was like having some medical issues, so they went off and did this kind of weird project. And I know this kind of like upset the industry a little bit, not as much as like the Mad Rapper shit, but or 50 Cent, but come on. But it's kind of a concept record of these guys like, you know, skyrocketing to fame and things like that. And a lot of people took offense to this. They thought it was about them. I think rumors was that they were talking about Kanye and fucking Will Smith and who else was involved in that shit, man, that people thought they were talking about. I think one time, I think it was also Rick Ross, some shit. I can't remember. So this came out in 2012, but there was a little bit of industry buzz over this. It's a really weird sounding record. It doesn't sound anything like a De La Soul. It's a little bit more up-tempo. It's odd. I know a lot of people don't like this. I actually enjoy this for what it is because of it being a concept record and it's, you know, they're playing different characters in it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And then the latest De La Soul album and the anonymous Nobody by De La Soul, produced by De La Soul and the anonymous Nobodies. The theory or the concept behind this was they'd started up, I think, a Kickstarter, raised a bunch of money, so they went and recorded like a bunch of stuff and then basically kind of sampled what they'd recorded for sounds, and then this was the product, filled full of features. Rock Marciano, I know Pete Rock, I think actually has a production credit on it too, if I'm not mistaken. 2 Chainz is on here. Everybody wants a 2 Chain verse. Snoop. Very odd with the features. This is a total mixed bag of an album. There's some really good stuff on here. There's some really not good stuff on here. I think it's like half and half. It plays out really strange. It's the most bizarre De La Soul album to date. Now, I just read that Mass Appeal is supposedly releasing the new De La Soul album, so they're working on this album and has production from like Pete Rock and DJ Premier and stuff like that. So going through Mass Appeal, which just has my penis very, very hard because like Pete Rock and, you know, anytime you hear that De La Soul's putting out a new album, you get excited. But I mean, with that kind of production line through Mass Appeal, it should be good. It should be really good, man. Maybe there's a little bit of a budget for it and stuff. I guess we'll see what's going to happen. Very interested to hear De La Soul over Pete Rock and Primo. It's going to be cool. Del the Funky Homo Sapien. I wish my brother George was here. I'll never forget this one back in the day. I always used to think that Del was actually talking about his brother George until I was older and realized he was talking about George Clinton, because this album's very funky. It's very influenced, obviously, by Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton and stuff, because it was produced by Ice Cube, Del and stuff. It has that total early 90s Cube production style on it, very heavily influenced by Clinton beats and shit like that. And it's funny, man. I always love this record, man. I always love this song, Sleeping on the Couch, man. This song's awesome. Maybe Mr. Dabalina is a song that nobody wants to ever hear again. Pissed on Your Steps always cracks me up, man. Dr. Bombay. Very interesting album. Kind of pre-dating the whole Hyro as a crew thing, so it sounds a lot different. And then In Step 1993, which is like one of the best years for Hyro ever. I mean, fucking everyone dropped classic albums in that year. But no Need for Alarm. My favorite Del album by far. It has that classic Hyro production on here from Del and everybody, Casual and A Plus, Opie. I think everyone produces on the record. But I mean, you're in shambles right off the bat. Whack MCs, Boo Boo Heads. Every song on this is so dope, man. Amazing. Got that 93 till infinity sound. You know what I'm saying? We got Del. Future Development, which was originally recorded, I believe, in 1996 and wasn't released until 99, 2000, somewhere in that area. It got dropped by the label, so he put it out independently. Yeah, so it was released in 2002. It was originally recorded in 96, so it does have that older sound. It sounds completely different than No Need for Alarm, for sure. But I love this record, man. I think it's really underrated, man. People don't really talk about this as much, but it's really good, man. Like Stress the World, Lyrical Lickin', X-Files is dope. Oh, it's just full of good stuff, man. Corner Store is really good. And look at the production. It's all Hyro shit, of course, because it's 1996, I think, when it was recorded. So it's been issued a couple times. This was actually really difficult to get my hands on for a good price for years. I finally found one for like insane. It was a steal. Both Sides of the Brains, Del. This is like, again, like Del always has different sounding records, man. But If You Must, everybody knows that song. Was it on Tony Hawk? What video game was that featured on? Everybody knows the song because it was on a very popular video game at the time. My roommate at the time when this album came out always was playing the game, and I always used to hear it, and I was like, the fuck is with that? But yeah, press rewind, pet peeps. There's some good stuff on here, man. We got Offspring, we got LP on the record. Some good stuff. I like the record. I'm a big Del fan, so I don't know if these are in order. Deltron, of course, 3030, classic shit right here. Dan the Automator's production on here is just fucking amazing. I absolutely love that shit. It's so good. Yeah, I mean, it's such a futuristic, spacey album with like just amazing samples, and it has like one of the coolest vibes. The tone to this record's so cool. Del knocks it out the park. The concept is awesome. It works all over the place. Like this and Dr. Octagon are two of the coolest records, conceptually wise. Del, the Funky Homo Sapien, the Electro Years, the B-Boy Handbook, definitely worth getting. It does have some remixes and alternate cuts and things like that. So pretty cool, man. See all the remixes, Dr. Bombay. We got Made in America. We got that on there, which is cool. We got Wrong Place, the casual remix. So it's actually really worth getting. Love the artwork. I believe this is actually a drawing from Del. I think Del did the artwork for this. And then we jump into what was this? 2008. So originally this album was supposed to come out, I believe, in 2004, somewhere in that range. And so the hype was real, man. If you were a big Del fan, you were like, hey, where's that new Del album? Where's that 11th Hour album? And it was like the year 2005 went by, 6, all these years went by, and we finally get the record. I think rumor has it that Del like re-recorded a bunch of the record or some shit. There's alternate stories to this. Anyways, the product that we got here was so disappointing. And I always highlight this as one of my biggest disappointments ever, because being such a massive Hyro/Del fan, I was anticipating this shit to be like amazing, and it just was so, the beats, dude, I was so disappointed with this. Oh my God, I'll never forget, like, I probably started crying. No, I'm just joking, but I was like, what the fuck is this? It was weird, man. This is kind of like a weird stage in Del's career, but yeah, it was very odd. Very disappointing to me. I haven't listened to it in years. It's probably better than I'm giving it credit for, but Del and Tame One, rest in peace to Tame One. Parallel Universes, all produced by Feral Thought. Awesome record, man. Fuck, man. When this thing came out, when it dropped, I can't remember what year it was. I fucking hate 2000. What is that? 2009 on Gold Dust. Crazy. Oh man, this was like it was like redemption for the 11th Hour with Del with me and shit like that. And it's like one of my favorite projects from Tame One of this time period too. Man, their chemistry was fucking awesome on this record. I don't really know where exactly this came from. I know that they'd both worked with Feral Thought, I think, before and stuff. So I guess that's where the connection is Feral Thought. So, but really good chemistry on this. Beats are dope, rhymes are dope. It's just no gimmicky. It's awesome. Highly recommend that you get your hands on it. I think it's out of print now. Then we got this release right here, which is called the Golden Years, or the Golden Era. That's what it's called, Golden Era, which has basically 3 albums on it. Golden Era, which is the new one, then Automatic Static, and Funkman. I think they were released as free downloads when they first came out, and then so he put it out with some new material, which was the Golden Era stuff. And none of it's so here's Automatic Static's cover, and then the Funkman, which is awesome artwork too. So it's a triple disc, kind of a weird collection, but it was kind of cool to get those because I believe, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were free downloads. But yeah, so the Golden Era. It's been a minute since I've listened to it, but I remember being pretty disappointed with a lot of that stuff. Then we got Del and Feral Thought, just a solo record here. Attractive Sin, which I thought was really dope too. This was kind of getting back on track with, how Del can be. Awesome artwork too, man. I never really realized, but he's got a lot of great artworks on his albums and stuff. Then we got some Deltron 2, Event 2, I should say. I know a lot of people were obviously disappointed with this when it came out, because I don't know why you were expecting the quality or the, of Deltron, the first album, but I actually really enjoyed this, man. I thought it was good. I don't know. It didn't really disappoint me that much. I guess I set my expectations low, I guess. I don't know. Del and Amp Live from Zion I. This was kind of an interesting combination. Gate 13. I really enjoyed this too. It was trippy, man. It kind of came out of left field for me, but I like how Del's doing these records with different people and stuff, and that was, you know, it makes sense. You know, Zion I and Dell from the West Coast. It kind of makes sense. I think they're, well, Oakland, yeah, Oakland representatives, I think. I think Zion I is from Oakland. But yeah, this worked. It's different sounding. Dell sounds good on the beats, so not disappointed. We got the Demigods. The Gods Must Be Crazier. Apathy and Self-Titled, of course. This is the deluxe edition. So it does have the bonus tracks, instrumentals. Fucking dope, man. I mean, you can look at all the features and stuff like right there. It kind of plays out like an Army of the Pharaohs record, really, at the time. Look at all these features. Got some Lewis Logic on there. Man, whatever happened to that weirdo? I like Lewis Logic, man. He had a funny-ass sense of humor. I got a few Lewis Logic albums. Then we got Killmatic, which I thought was fucking dope. I think I actually like this more than the first one. I'm not even sure. It's been a minute. I'd have to go back and compare them, but beats are dope on this. Cool features. So, Worst Nightmare. I love that track, Worst Nightmare. Good shit. From the Demigods, new Denzel Curry record, Melt My Eyes. This is pretty much my introduction to him. Like, I'd heard some stuff from him before. I wasn't overly the hugest fan, but this one really caught my ear. I was like, damn, that's actually really cool. So you guys just saw this in a recent yearly update, or actually was featured in the beginning of the top 22 because I just got this after that video. So, but yeah, this is good. I actually really enjoy it. Man, dude can rap though, man. Dude can rap. Detroit's Most Wanted. Tricks of the Trade, Volume Deuce. The money is made. Yeah, it's what it is. It's like 1992. Yeah, 1992. Yep. Detroit stuff early. It's actually not bad. I actually don't mind this record. I wouldn't mind trying to find some of the other Detroit's Most Wanted records. I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of a weird find one day. Came across it. All right, so we're just talking about Devin a little bit earlier, but Devin the Dude. Oh man, like that album cover right there is just, it's so damn classy. I fucking love that shit. He's taking a shit reading the paper. Love this album, man. Absolutely love this. 1998. I've always been a huge fan of Devin from the Odd Squad days to when he was in Face Mob, and then he went solo, man. Like, Devin was always a really talented dude, very laid back, so much personality. He's funny. He's got charisma. Just a total weedhead, man. I love him. This is a great record, man. DMG Spice One on there. That's a great track, actually. Sticky Green with Scarface. Actually, I was just listening to that song like about 5 minutes before I started doing this video. No shit, it actually came on random on my phone, which I upload songs in there, but I guess I have Apple Music too. I guess I could just put it that way. But anyways, old school. Devin the Dude just trying to live. The follow-up on Rap a Lot. Good, man. What's that, Lackville 79? Is that the track that's produced by Primo in here that doesn't even sound like a Primo? Or no, it's Doobie Ashtray. I think Doobie Ashtray is the one that was produced by Primo in here. And it's like the weirdest Primo beat, man. It's trippy. It's so trippy. But this is a really good album too, man. Again, you know what you're getting with Devin, man. It's laid back, funky, weed tracks, man. Devin to the extreme. I believe this was on Rap a Lot also. He did a few. Yeah, good stuff right here. Again, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. But yeah, Devin definitely has a catalog though. Waiting to Inhale. Such a great title for an album. Waiting to Inhale. See, that just shows a sense of humor right there. Fucking dope. 14K on there is pretty dope. Look at that. Featuring the Odd Squad. That's pretty fucking cool, man. Couple tracks. Snoop, Andre, Wayne, and B. Yeah, I like this album a lot, actually. It's a good one. Smoke Sessions, Volume 1. I believe this was this put out by... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even, like, it's official, but I don't know. I think it's like leftover stuff. It's like a mixtape. I'm not sure the story behind this, but it's definitely official. It's not a bootleg or nothing, but you know, sometimes these unauthorized things come out, but they come out and they're official. I don't know. It's weird. Devin the Dude, Landing Gear, another fun one. Oh, what's that song? He's got 14K on here again. Got some Snoop. Yeah, and this is where he was like putting out albums on every random label known to man. But I fucking love this album cover too. For somebody that worked in an airport for like 9 years, it's funny to me. Devin the Dude, High Life. This was put out on Rap-A-Lot, I believe, like way after he left Rap-A-Lot and stuff, so they were just kind of banking. And Rap-A-Lot was known to do that. They did that with Scarface's My Homies 2, which was totally unauthorized. Scarface fucking is pissed off that's even out. Got some Bushwick Bill. I swear, I don't know, like if these are leftover tracks from there or if that's copy and paste. I have no idea the story behind these. But 14K on here again. But this actually is not too bad though. There's some good tracks on here. Sweet 420. Come on. That album cover. Sweet 420. It's good shit, man. This one's put on E1, man. It's crazy. But yeah. This one right here, I think Gotta Be Me. I think this is, I wasn't like, this one was a weird one, man. The beats on here were kind of strange. But it's still Devin. You know what you're getting. It's going to be laid back. And I have a lot of Devin albums. Holy shit. One for the Road. Yeah. Another E1 record, I believe. Yeah. This one was solid also. Kind of different. A lot of skits on this one. Then we got Acoustic Elevation. His album covers, man. Got that joint in hand. This was actually pretty decent too. This was decent. And then the latest couple, Something to Ride With. Still rolling up. Another group that he's part of, the Coffee Brothers. They put out a couple records, which I believe, oh, and we already would have passed them because it starts with a C. This was cool. This was cool. And then the latest one, which I thought was, this was really laid back, man. Soulful Distance. Kind of makes sense with the title and stuff. Little Kiki on here. Got some more Odd Squad. Yeah, it was cool to see Scarface on this one. It kind of came out of left field. Scarface wasn't doing too many features at this time, so I think he was also sick for a while there too. So getting into some Left Coast stuff here. Left Coast stuff. Left Coast sounding stuff. DFC. Things in the Hood. Al Breed, which is MC Breed's cousin. They also did an album with Breed years before this. Put Your Lokes On. Caps Get Peeled, MC8. Mo Love. Things in the Hood. This is a really catchy album, man. Like you would think that these guys were from the West, but yeah. Things in the Hood. Good stuff. I enjoy that record. We got some Diabolic, Liar and a Thief. This is a really dope record, man. He kind of knocks this one out the park. Good features on here. Yeah, good shit, man. Really good stuff. Good hard boom bap. Fighting Words, not as good as the first one, but still really solid. Good features on here once again. You got Sean P, Vinny Paz, Are the Rugged Man, self-titled, and so on and so on. We got Locksmith on here. That's cool. Yeah, not as solid as the first one, but I really do like it. I love this record right here, man. Diabolic and Vanderslice. Vanderslice is such a weird dude. Collusion. Great album, man. Really, really great album. Yeah, got a good chemistry here. Track with Nems, DJ Revolution, like one of my all-time favorite DJs. And then we got The Disconnect, which it's weird because like this came out in the same year as Collusion, but it totally has a totally different feel because obviously it wasn't produced by Vanderslice. But it took me a little bit to get into this one, but I ended up really kind of digging this one. Just a totally different vibe. So into some Diamond D, Stunts, Blunts, and hip hop. You know, what can I say? It's fucking classic. Everything's amazing. Sally's got a one-track mind. Yeah. Past That Shit. I was actually just rocking this album the other day. Best Kept Secret. I love this record, man. Fucking amazing. It's classic. Classic stuff. And then 5 years later, man, Diamond finally dropped another album, which was Hatred, Passions, and Infidelity. And, man, it's always kind of cracks me up. Like, Diamond D produced, I think, pretty much every song on this album. Except for my favorite song, which is Five Fingers of Death, which was done by Kid Capri, I believe, produced that track. And it's got all the DITC guys on there. And it's fucking amazing. Such a dope track. But this one's another great track on there. This one right motherfucking here. Yeah, I like this album. I know a lot of people kind of shit on this at the time. It didn't really get the push, though, because it was like in 97, which is that kind of strange oddball year. But there's still a lot of really great albums from 97. Just got to dig them. Diamond D, The Huge Hefner Chronicles. This one right here, I actually was just saying to myself, I need to re-listen to this. I probably haven't listened to this since 2008, to be honest. I remember I listened to this a few times when I first got it, and I just could not get into it. So I really do need to revisit this one. It's been a minute. I just remember the production being so lackluster on it, but Diamond D's Dime Piece, which was fantastic. Great producer album. Look at the features on here. Rest in peace to Granddaddy IU. It's got just some of the best, man. Fucking Chiali on here. Talib Kweli. Elzai Skies. Look at that track, man. It's amazing. But, like, I mean, look at this shit, man. My favorite MC, Master Ace. Kev Brown, just goes on and on and on. I really love that record. I have it on vinyl, too. Which most of these on vinyl. Actually, I have the Dime Piece 2 on vinyl. I think it was only a vinyl-only release, so that's why the CD's not in here. But here's the latest one. The rear view, which you guys would have just saw in a video. Really enjoyed this, man. Made my top 22. Great Diamond stuff, man. He still sounds good on the mic. He really does. So I wish they put out that Dime Piece 2 on disc. Maybe it is on disc. I don't know. I haven't checked in a minute. Sometimes they come out and way after the fact, but I don't think it is. Diamond District, In the Rough. Fuck, man. This shit is so dope. Produced by Odyssey. You got EXO and YU. Group album. Like I said, Streets Won't Let Me Chill, Who I Be, Back to Basics, I Mean Business. Like, it's like some of the best tracks to start off an album ever, man. It's so strong. Such a great album. EXO and YU, totally underrated MCs. Odyssey is a good MC himself too, but beats on here, incredible, man. Incredible. In the Rough. If you never heard it, check it out. It's amazing. March on Washington. Definitely not even close to as good as their first album, but still really solid. Just a different vibe, totally different vibe on this one. Solid though. I actually just ordered the remix version of this. It should be in pretty quick, so it'll be in a newer update. I actually really love the remix album because it's got like Large Pro and it's got a bunch of different producers remixing these songs, so they did a good job with that. Then we got Diamond Shell, the Grand Imperial Diamond Shell, all produced by Biz Markie. Rest in peace to Biz Markie. This is Diamond Shell is Biz's brother. The one and only album that he did, of course, was put out on Cold Chillin'. It's got a fun vibe to it. It's nothing overly memorable, but it's still a good record. I enjoy it. The production's really good by Biz Markie on it. Then we got Dice Raw, Reclaiming the Dead, of course, from The Roots. That's where you would know him from. Oh, we got some Black Thought, Malik B. Rest in peace from Malik B. also, man. Fuck. This is a good album, man. It took me forever. I got this, sometime last year, maybe, I don't know. And I always put off getting this for some odd reason. I checked it out and I was like, holy shit, this is actually pretty solid, man. So check out Dice Raw. It's dope. All right, so we're going to have to take a fucking, oh, my arm is starting to get so, it's 32 minutes, no wonder. I'm going to go on my knees. That's what she said. All right, so into some Diggable Planets here. Reaching, fantastic album. I think that they won, did they not win like a Grammy for this shit? Rebirth of Slick, I think they did. And didn't KRS One diss the shit out of them for not being a hardcore group and shit. I think this was it. I'm a big fan of Ladybug Mecca. I think she's dope, man. Doodlebug's dope. It's kind of a shame they only ever put out 2 albums because they're really dope, man. Like, Blow a Comb, I absolutely fucking love this album, man. I've got it on tape, vinyl, CD. Great record, man. The vibe is so dope on here. Like, everything is just amazing on this one. Yeah, man. So good. Yeah, awesome record. Getting into some Digital Underground. Rest in peace to Shock G. This is an EP release. Got the same song on there. We all know that shit. Dope. Then we get into Sex Packets, which is, straight up classic material. Fuck, that thing is annoying the shit out of me. Yeah, I mean, Humpty Dance, probably a song that nobody ever wants to hear ever again. But the thing is with Digital Underground, man, they're just so much more than that. Like, they were a band, like live instrumentation, great samples, very funky. Shock G was like an amazing personality. Humpty Dumped, and like, just really, really good shit, man. Pac obviously was having a lot of fun when he was part of the crew, but they were just a really fun band, fun group. Sons of the P, awesome. Really, really good stuff. They do some really strange songs. Like, they do have some filler on their records and shit like that, but for the most part, man, like, they put out some really solid shit, man. It's kind of a shame that Digital Underground is just known for the Humpty Dance, to be honest. The B-Boy Hat Syndrome. I love this record, man. It's so dope. Yep. the Humpty Dance Awards. I don't know what the fuck. It's like the longest skit ever on here, though. Man, look at some of the songs. Like, Do You? 7:36. That's like ridiculously long. That's the weird thing about these guys. They have like some interludes and then fucking the longest song ever. That's a great listen though. Future Rhythm, kind of an like an outsider record. This one very funky though, very funky. I remember this one having some, yeah. So it's got Dell on there. Yeah, the Loonies. I thought that was interesting. Okay, yeah. So not a bad album. It's okay. This one right here is kind of strange. Who Got the Gravy? Love the artwork on this. Fucking awesome. I think still in the 90s. They put out a lot of albums in the 90s that people probably never even fucking heard. But you got some Biz Markie on there. You got Big Pun. It's a weird mashup of MCs. There's Karis one on there. I actually really kind of enjoy this. Got some good songs on there. Good stuff. All right, so getting into one of my favorite albums of the new millennium. So since 2000, this actually came out in 2000 as The Platform. Dilated Peoples. I mean, the beats, like the MCing from Irish Science and Evidence is amazing. Babu is amazing. The cuts on here are so fucking dope. It's just an all-around incredible record, top to bottom. So fucking good. Oh, man. And then they followed up with just a solid record, man, with Expansion Team. I know a lot of people actually prefer this one. I don't actually, even though like Worst Comes to Worst is so dope, man. Clockwork is so fucking dope. Heavy Road, every song on here is amazing. But I mean, I could listen to these albums back to back and never get bored. It's amazing. Good shit. Neighborhood Watch, another really good one. I mean, honestly, you can't really go too wrong. Look at that fucking Kanye West on a track. It's crazy. Dilated Peoples. Then we got Dilated Peoples. What is it, 2020? Yeah, 2020. Rolling on the 20. That's a nice little camera right there. 2020 Vision. This one actually, at first when it came out, I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. Then it grew on me. Good shit. Obviously a promo copy. Yeah, very, very solid. I actually listened to this just a couple months back again. Really good album, man. Really good stuff. And then the last group effort, which was Directors of Photography, which I absolutely love this album. Really good stuff. I wish Dilated Peoples come back and do another record. I know Evidence and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, but, you know, they could probably do one eventually. The Diplomatic Immunity. I love this record, man. For a double disc. You know, it's funny. I was actually thinking about this a few weeks ago about, I saw a post and, you know, the same old fucking tired post where name your top 5 double disc albums of all time, and it's always fucking All Eyes on Me, and it's always fucking Life After Death, which Life After Death shouldn't, there's one good album there. No one ever mentions Diplomatic Immunity, man. This is actually really solid. I mean, say what you will about, you know, Cameron and crew. This is dope. This plays out really well. It's very, very solid. I highly recommend it if you've never heard it. And I'm not like the hugest Cameron fan. I like Cameron albums, but there's some I don't really care for. This is one that really missed the mark for me, man. Part 2. But it's not bad though. It's really not bad. It totally just does not have the same flavor as the other album, but yeah. Fucking Dirt Platoon, Warface, all produced by Kei Watachi. Great artwork. This is awesome, man. Fucking so dope. Yeah, if you've never heard of this group, man, check them out. Awesome. And then even the second disc on here, the remix album, which is really good too. Really good remixes on here and stuff. So I highly recommend this, man. When did this come out? 2013. Holy shit, this thing is 10 years old. Crazy. Really good album. Here's one of the strangest albums, man. Like The Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the greatest luxury. Super heavily political, motivated. Very interesting group. It's like the beats are so strange on here, and it's like on Fourth and Broad. Is it Fourth and Broad? Yeah. This is one you got to hear to believe. Like, I actually had a tape of this back in the day whenever it came out, like 92 or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely something you just got to check out, man. It's very strange. DICC Worldwide, which this is the promo copy with a different track listing on here. You know, I mean, to be honest, like, I was disappointed when this album came out. I was expecting so much more. I think a lot of people were kind of, but I mean, it still has amazing songs like Bonix Remix and the Primo Mix, Drop It Heavy. Enemy is amazing. Get Yours. I mean, there's so many good songs on here, but it just, man, it always just kind of came up short. I still love it though. And then here's here's the release of it, and it's different track list, a couple different tracks on here too and stuff. I'd compare, but I can't do it with one hand. So, but yeah, so DITC rare and unreleased, obviously DITC rare and released stuff from the crew. I think there's a part 2 to this, which I never grabbed, and I think it's like long out of print now, which is stupid of me. Oh no, it's the other one I didn't grab. So I have the part 2 here. What am I fucking talking about? I'm thinking of something. There's another DITC kind of compilation like this, I think, that I'm missing. Yeah, it's not this one. So here's part 2. That's right, I do have part 2. Party Artie, which I believe passed away, right? Did he not pass away? So look at how Freddie Fox's name is spelled. 1X. That's weird. All right, DITC, the remix project. If you guys can see that, special edition. Yeah, this was cool. I thought this was kind of cool. Here's the track listing you guys can see. So here we go. So Alquist Remix, Bank, Paula Brown, Lord Finesse. So you do have DITC producers on here. Buck Wild, also Diamond D. Yeah, so you got some Polo, Showbiz, Ninth Wonder. Just remixing classic tracks, really. It's cool. It's interesting to hear them like that. I think it's pretty good. And then what do we got here? DITC Studios. Group album put out a few years back, which I thought was actually a lot better than I was anticipating it to be. Yeah, so there we go. AGOC, even Fat Joe appears on a couple tracks, or maybe just one. That doesn't really surprise me that he's only on like one or two tracks on there, because he's been doing his mainstream thing for years and years, man. Then we got DITC Studios Volume Deuce, so the sequel to the Studios one, which again I thought was pretty cool. Milano is always dope on everything. Corey Guns is dope. David Bars, Papoose, and the AG and OC and stuff. It was solid, short. Diverse, man. 1 a.m. I believe Diverse is from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And this is really fucking dope, man. Really good shit, man. You got Vassar on here, Sean Gray. That song Up Rock is like amazing. This whole record is really fucking solid, man. It's one of those albums I never hear anyone talk about. Obviously, I found a promo copy somewhere. So, yeah, I highly recommend this. Really good stuff. Sorry, I can't fucking see what I'm doing here. Divine Styler with some fucking writing on it. This is a weird album. It's more of an experimental record. It's not really, it's kind of like housey, like it's different. It's not your typical like earlier Divine Styler, which I do have more on vinyl. So it's like the only disc I have. And then last up for this shelf is Dizzle Rascal. Boy in the Corner. UK hip hop. I picked that. I found this, so I decided to pick it up because I'd never heard him before. I'd never heard him until like last year. Not really my thing, to be honest, but I have heard. I think he might have better projects than this. But it was different. It was very, very different. I can't remember what they call it in the UK, but it's definitely very regional sounding. But I'm willing to definitely check out some more stuff from him. I didn't hate it or nothing, but I thought it was very interesting. So, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for this. I had this one pulled out here because it's the beginning of the DJ section, which is going to be this like ridiculous long section, and that's just what I have in here. So, but anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this part 13, the D's part 2. So I'll be back with part 3 very soon because I'm going to try and record more of these together. And so that'll be part 3, and then there'll be one more part in the D, so it'll be 4 parts. So, and then we'll move on to the E's. All right. So check you guys later. Leave comments down below. Yeah. And as usual, deuces. Oh my God, my arm is cramped.